And hello, greetings, salutations, this is Ice and Quinn. We're recording live on the Xbox One today, playing No Man's Sky, wrong, Elite Dangerous. And just had a little bit of an intro snafu. Not that important that I get the intro, but the sound and audio was going to be coming out of my monitor, which would give us a horrible echo, so I had to reset all that. That's what you get when you add in new software. Anyway, thanks everyone who's showed up and everyone who's watching this after the broadcast. Today I thought I'd go through some of the basics of getting my ship skills back in order and trying a few ships. Right now I'm in the Galactic News, so we're just going to get out of there. I've already selected a mission to try and get things running fairly smoothly, so let me go ahead and move up, and we'll come back and collect a few more. I have not practiced since the last broadcast, which I think was around 3:30 a.m. 4 or 5 days ago, something like that. So I'm not much better at flying than I was then. But this is a problem that a lot of players in the game are, I guess, have initially or are intimidated by. That's how to fly the spacecraft. So I'm going to try and cover some of the aspects of it without the long tutorials that they have, without also going into a lot of detail, because you can actually fly fairly easily. There's not much to it. So the launching is really loud on my end here, so I need to turn that down a little bit. I'm just going to move the right stick up, like a joystick, or flight control. I'm going to use the functions to take my landing gear down, or away, just alter with the left stick. And then they use the L1, or R1 to accelerate, L1 to decel. Getting a little bit of speed there. I'm switching over everything to my shields, but we're not talking about that right now. That's because if I crash into the wall, I don't want to damage the ship, because it has been a while. So you basically just want to line up with the mail slot. You do want to get a fairly good speed, a little bit faster than what I'm going right now, because you don't want the mail slot to rotate on you as you're going through it or coming out. And then you can hit the B button for burst. And there's plenty more to learn, but that is all you need to know to fly. And landing would be the reverse of it. But you do need to be careful, because stations will shoot you if you take too long or if you go in the wrong place. So it might be wise, until you practice while on a cheap ship, to maybe get a docking computer. Right now I have a docking computer because it's been so long since I've flown that there is no reason for me to crash on a live broadcast while I'm showing people how to fly. It's been too long since I have done any flying. So now I'm just going to point at my objective, which I picked out later, and we'll be doing that plenty as we go on the broadcast. And I'm just going to go into hyperspace. You do have to accelerate, but there's a bunch of stuff you get into. The problem is a lot of new players run into the game and say, there's so much to learn, I can't handle shields and modules, and it actually is not that complicated. You just need to separate it, and you can't in the game start with the most complicated ship, because you're not allowed to, and much of the stuff defaults to a fairly good setting, so even if you're not playing with it, you don't have to worry about it. It's when you start trying to get snazzy, or if you're going into combat against humans, then you're going to want to start tweaking, or high-end NPCs if you're a bounty hunter. But by that point, you probably know how to do most of that stuff, which I will be covering in future videos. I'm scooping fuel here just because I'm here. So every ship can have fuel. Well, every ship has fuel, and every ship can have a fuel scoop. Really depends on the type of ship, if you need it, how far you're going. This is actually an Explorer that I just dropped a cargo bay in. And we're going to Moorcock City. I'm certain named after Michael Moorcock in the Alric series, since just about everything in the game is named after fantasy science fiction authors, like George Lucas Station. I don't think that was a random coincidence. Oh, and I will be doing the loop of shame because I'm not paying attention and I'm talking. This is where you fly by your objective because you're going too fast, which pretty much every new player will be doing. And then all you do is circle around and come back to it. There is a point, if you're not doing videos, and you've flown a few times, you won't do the loop of shame. The key is, if you look over on the left-hand side, there's two little markers there, distance and speed. I'm intentionally going slow here so you can see those. There's a blue area in there. You want to line up both those markers. And how you do that is by adjusting your speed. If you look in the center, there's little blue bars for the right-hand side. That's your speed indicator. So being in those blue bars indicates you're probably in the right speed. And then you maintain a speed toward your objective. I'm maintaining 8 seconds right now. I'm going very slowly. It might even be 9. I need a new prescription. And when those two lines on the left are both blue, you drop out of space. Sounds like a lot, but basically you're matching blues. And let's just drop out. And welcome everyone who is watching the stream live. Feel free to jump into chat if you have any comments or questions, or if you played the game, or you just need to laugh at how I'm flying. Now I'm going to push R1 to accelerate toward the station. It's good to learn to land the ships on your own, because I've had docking computer quite often fail. And before I get too close, you always have to request docking permission. Early in the game, when I first started playing, I did not. Docking request denied. Okay, I was turned down. I might have approached too quickly, so we're going to move on out and away. Let's go around this way. Sometimes the pads seem to be full. You want to request after within about 7 kilometers of the station. Sooner and it'll be denied. It seems like if you get too close, maybe 4 kilometers as I was, you'll be denied. We'll slow down our speed here. I'm still at 5, so that still might be too close. Put it in reverse while I ask for permission again. And sometimes it just seems to, I say, be busy or still denying me. I guess I'm not allowed here. I can land at the station because my ship has a footprint that will land there, so we'll go ahead and move up here and try all that again. I don't actually think that's a bug in the game so much as, well, I guess you have to be denied on occasion. Now they're scanning me, so I should be able to. Actually not moving very far. Still within 5 kilometers. I want to get out to about 6 or so. Put more into the engines. You can see in the right hand side there's a couple of markers there. And I'm not going to be talking flying skills the entire time because I don't think anyone actually wants to do that. If so, you can always ask in chat or post a comment and I can do more videos on that. I'm just going to be covering the basics on occasion. So we're 10 kilometers out and still going reverse. See the bar on the left hand side that shows your speed. When it's coming down from the top, you're going in reverse. When it's going up from the bottom, you're going forward. And you can, in this game, turn off stabilization so your ship is not held steady and you're affected by, well, you're not affected by anything, so you move as though you're actually in 0G. That can be disquieting to a lot of people, so it's usually best, unless you're doing something unique, to keep everything stabilized. See if we're close enough. There we go. And I already lowered my speed to 0, so the docking computer kicked in automatically. So, as far as I know, it is maybe getting in too close and then they deny, or the pads are busy and they deny. I'm not sure. It happens on occasion. Obviously, when I'm streaming, it's going to happen more. And this is an ASP Explorer. Lots of heads-up displays when you look. For those who own the PS4, I was reading about it. It looks like it will be coming out probably around June. And the company said they definitely want to take advantage of the VR, but it won't be at launch, which I can understand. There's enough to do at launch where you don't want to include the complications of VR. So what I'm doing here is just delivering some simple cargo for some simple money, which you use to buy complicated chips later. And in this game, space is big, the missions are varied. We'll enter the hangar here. If you don't enter the hangar, it will rotate you around before you launch by putting you in the hangar and rotating you. So you might as well enter the hangar while you're at it. You can actually start pulling up the display while you're on it. If you play this on the PC, you'll notice there is a response difference and obviously some graphical differences, but they did a very good job on the Xbox version. So I have a mission that I picked up at another station that gave me the directions to come here, so all I have to do is go on the mission board and cancel it out. Again, I apologize for my incredibly coarse and hoarse voice today. I do not have a cold. I'm not feeling ill. So I guess it's just talker's voice. I don't know. I talk a lot and never have that problem. So we collected 499,000 credits for simply that trip. We did have the hassle of not being able to park right away. I do not have high standings here. You see this company. I'm very low. This company apparently has no missions right now. And I have a high standing with them. Wolf Transport. You see I do a lot of transporting. These are all relative though. Now I'm low with a lot of these because I've engaged in combat with them. And here's some secure data transfer. It's 94,000 credits. If there was another mission in the area, I would be willing to do that. Here I can donate to improve my standing, so I'll go ahead and do that, although I'll probably be attacking them later. So pretty much everything I got for that mission, I'm now donating to this other group. And as your standing increases, as you see over there on the left-hand side, the standing right here as I'm bouncing through them, when you get a standing at this point here, where it's almost completely full, I think I have another one that's almost completely full with another one. That one is all the way. You'll get some very good missions. I have to complete that one by donating the money. And this does not give you a very large standing increase. You can see that little gray-blue marker there. It's not very much, but as you do missions, you'll get more, and every little bit counts. Sometimes it's getting over those barrier lines. So let's plot a course back to our original station, which happens to be Ford Station. We'll go down navigation. Oh, galactic map. I'm calling some of this out for anyone who is new or interested in the game, because at first glance when you see the training tutorials, and you do want to go through all of them at some point, but not necessarily the first time. I want to get into the game. Okay, over here I have some ships at Nadius. So I've got that marker, and I'm going to go in. That little spiral map or solar system map is this solar system. This is what it looks like. And we're going to go here where I have my ships docked, and I'll just plot a course to there. And we're coming out of the map, which again is just a little bit slow. And for those who are not familiar with it, let's zoom out. This is sort of known as the hub. Well, there's all my bookmarks. I overdo it with bookmarks. This is sort of the known galactic hub of civilization. So I move out a little bit, and then you can see you start getting out into the depths of space. There's a new outpost that's been created way out here. This is toward the galactic core. You see the stars start getting far more dense. I'll just go ahead and pull out a little bit further. Out here is Colonia. That's a new outpost that was created in the game. Hello, Mock, and welcome to the game. No one's ever late. Welcome to the stream, and welcome to the game. So, you see, there's no shortage of planets, because I actually have some of them not turned on right now, so we're not seeing a lot of them. And there's these nebula along the way that are quite interesting. I'll go back down here. This is where a lot of people do their business, but you'll find that you can do some exploration and find quite a few new things. So we'll hop out of that. Got our course plotted, so we'll refuel. I think I've already done that. Try and get the habit of doing that. Beginning, go back to the surface. And we will launch again. Pull that up. On the PC, you can use voice commands, which makes it easier until the voice commands stop working. That can be frustrating. Just clearing a little distance from the station so I don't run into it when I turn around. Pull up there. And we're just going to head and jump.
Frameshift drive charging.
And for those who are not on the PS4, like I said, it'll be coming out, it looks like, in June. The game's already obviously out on the Xbox and PC. And I believe there's an update coming sometime after April 10th, because they're giving warnings to finish all your long-term missions before April 10th. It's usually an indication that an update's about to drop, and that update could change things. And we're coasting through here. You can, last update they did fix it so you can see the target star, which is a nice touch. Give you a little bit of warning as to what you're going into before you do. This is a habit if you're going long distances, particularly in exploration where there are no more gas stations, so to speak. You will want to get a good scoop. This is not a good scoop. And start scooping your fuel. Now I'll try and pay attention to my approach speed. When it gets down to about 9 seconds, I'll drop it down to 8. Because I'm completely out of practice. We're still in the minutes right now, so we'll see it drops a little bit faster, so we don't have to worry about actually going through real minutes. If I maintain my speed, we could take that long. See how I slowed it down, the clock slowed down. And this is a bit like bursting in No Man's Sky to the next planet. Though I think the distances between planets, because they want to keep orbital mechanics and planet and moon sizes and orbital effects realistic, or as realistic as they can in a simulation, an arcade-style simulation, you have longer spaces to travel. Which means you could have longer time to wait, and I'm talking, and I want to keep us about 8 seconds. So you see for dock, we have late seconds, and then our time, 8 seconds, which is not really when we're getting there. And then back on the left-hand side, we've got distance and speed, and you see the distance indicator starting to drop in. Once we get within a range, the speed will drop in, and then you just drop out of hyperspace. If you maintain a number, and it can be a lower number or a higher number, you'll be able to it'll tell you when to drop out of space, and you just drop out. You'll learn some clever maneuvers if you play the game in the future. As I said, I'm not going to make this whole thing a tutorial. When pirates are chasing you, you might want to go a little bit faster than this. I'm already tempted to go faster than this. That is a galactic center in the background there, that streak. And you can find Earth in this game. So for those who want to visit Earth, it is there. Though you do need a certain level of clearance to get in there, and we're about to drop. And I would manually dock, but most likely I would convince everybody not to play the game. So, and at these D20 stations, sometimes finding the front of stations, which is usually planet side, can be a little bit challenging. So let's go ahead and ask for docking permission, and then we'll drop our speed so the docking computer will take over. And now all of my freighters, or haulers, or transport ships, I have the docking computer because unless I'm smuggling, then you definitely don't want to use that. If I'm carrying a few millions or tens of millions of cargo, I do not want to make a mistake and have it destroyed. So that's sort of valet parking for spaceships. I prefer to do that. Yes, it's cowardly, but I don't want to spend 30 million in cargo and then get stuck in this mail slot because an Orca, that's a cruise line ship, comes out and bumps me on the way, and then they shoot me because I've been there too long. So you can buy insurance for your ships and get most of your money back. And there's not a big insurance scam or something to worry about as far as insurance goes. So we're back in the station. I have a number of ships to choose from, so we can explore and do a few things. Because obviously just traveling between two stations, unless you're trying to, grind out some money, is not particularly interesting. And this is an exploration ship, but maybe we'll try hauling some passengers. That's something new in the game that a lot of people, I don't think, are familiar with. It can be profitable. It can be time-consuming depending on the ship. So let's go ahead and switch, refuel this ship. And I think I have all my ships here right now. No, maybe I don't. I don't know. We'll see. And we'll go into shipyard. So these are the ships that are available for purchase here. This is the one that everyone gets at the beginning of the game free. That's higher end combat ship. I'm not particularly fond of it. That's exactly what the name says. That's a hauler. Another combat ship. Asp Explorer, that's the one I'm in right now. Vulture. Good combat ship. I'm sorry. I'm in the Asp Explorer. What was that first one? I guess they brought another. Oh, okay. Asp Scout. Sorry, that was the Scout. Yeah, that's a light version of the Explorer. So I'm in the Explorer. There's a dropship. I don't know if I have federal standing yet high enough for that. I guess I do. So this is a Federation ship, and in the game, like in No Man's Sky, for instance, you can raise your standing. In this game, you can raise your standing with the Empire, the Federation, the Alliance, and stations individually. Then you can get certain combat ships. This is a Type 7 transport. I have one of these. It's big, bulky, and a target, but you can really move a lot of cargo in it. It's a Clipper. I'm not qualified. I don't have the status or standing in the Imperium. A little bit wanted there right now, but it's a nice looking ship. So let's see what I had stored here. Got the Viper, the Killback. The Killback is a ship most people don't buy. We might take it out to show the fighters and how to use the fighters in it, because it's a transport ship with combat capability. Let's see what else I've got in here. Orca. I think the Orca is the smaller version of the passenger ship. So let's go ahead and take that one out. They're going to be coming out with the Dolphin. This is the Orca, and I think the Beluga. I had the Beluga for a while and continually crashed into things when I was leaving the station because it's so big. It barely fits through the entrance. And we'll go outside. You can go outside view, and we'll take a look at this ship as soon as we get. Yeah, he said, I'm not going to load it with a lot of passengers because we just basically want to do a tour run with it. And then maybe some interesting missions. We'll go down the passenger lounge. This ship can carry a fighter also for defense. I find running is the best defense in it. And there we go. We're not going to take a long haul, so anything that's 78 light years away, well, for this ship would be a nightmare because this ship doesn't have much of a jump range. That one's 54. I could do that, but it's still, I think, a little monotonous for everyone here. So we'll be looking for basically transport missions. So let's see if we have any transport missions. Those are fairly quick. It'll make a difference who we transport. There's a guy right there, and another one right there. That one's a little bit more. So let's just make sure the person isn't wanted too much. Passenger has requirements, and you get paid less or tipped if you meet the requirements or don't meet the requirements. So this is a rich tourist to Shukor Dock in Perun. It's supposed to be transport, but the catchy thing is tourist. Tourist can mean, would you mind going to another site and taking a look? But we are sort of touring it, so we'll see. So he does not react well to danger. So avoid being shot. Laid back, delays are unlikely to affect him. So if you're actually dropping off other passengers, not a problem. Low value target. That means not a lot of people are hunting for him. Neutral. Performing legal actions will slightly reduce the passenger satisfaction, so probably don't smuggle with him. And I wouldn't smuggle in this ship anyhow. Demanding. Highly likely to make demands while on board. Yeah, like going to a certain place. So we'll just take a look to make sure there's not someone else who pays better. We'll go to the next one. Since they do have refugees, they're always very happy to leave. And here's someone who's a little bit closer, pays far less. Unfazed by danger, laid back, low value, secretive. So criminal, not for $500,000 in a stream. Transport. This one's pretty easy. We'll probably grab that one. And then if anyone's interested, we can always do another one. Hello, Red versus Blue. You see you're in the Python and thinking of exchange it for a Type 9 Heavy. Oh, particularly for boom time missions. I have a Python. You know, they've improved it quite a bit. It's, as I guess you're probably using it as a transport ship. It is a well-armored transport ship. If you're going to do boom time missions, it's obviously quantity that's going to make you the most money. So a Type 9, I think, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Just make sure you put a good engine on it. So, who are we looking at here? Or thrusters so you can get away. And you probably know that already because you're asking for a pretty obvious... Well, let's go with this person. Long as not a criminal. Okay, let's pick a cabin. And since this is actually a cruise liner, I can throw in an economy class. And you could add in more people. Won't do that right away. And we'll leave here, make sure the ship is full in operation. It's been so long since I've flown this ship, I do not know. We're going to go over here and set our destination. Open the galaxy map. That's where your missions are listed, so you can find those quickly. Red versus Blue. How do you like the Python? I know a lot of people complained about it, particularly for, well, some for combat, but for hauling jobs. Let's mark this. See if we can go in the system and mark the destination. Drop in there. And we can also hit this system because of the rings. Anyone new to the game will enjoy the visuals in particular. And we'll pop out of that map. And we'll see how well I can actually fly this space pig, is what it is. When we're in space, I could have looked at it in here, but when we're in space, I'll go to exterior view. I have no idea what color it is right now. You can buy skins in the game, either for money. Sometimes you can get codes, depending if you're lucky. Usually for money, you buy a skin set. Just going over here.
Landing gear retracted.
Bring up the landing gear, and we'll go ahead and start flying out of here. This ship has a slightly different profile than the last one. I don't recall it. So I'm going to try and line it up on the green side of the mail slot, lower it down just a little bit, and that small amount of lag was not welcome. And we're going to burst out of here. So if you're trying to avoid being scanned, then you want to be able to get away as fast as possible. I just switched power to my thrusters, and then you'd warp out as fast as possible too, and avoid any ships that are with the government that you're with. So it looks like we can actually jump there. This ship has a very small jump range. Let's go to an external view. That doesn't look like it's very external, does it? It just looks like first person, but it is. We need to find the ship. There it is. I'm going to drop back behind it. The controls for the camera are the same as flying. So you accelerate and decelerate the camera. So it looks like it might be white or yellow. I'm not sure. But you can see it's definitely not a combat ship. It's designed for making people happy as you transport them. It transports more than your average ship. So you can do a lot of local hauls. It's a hauler for people. Best way to put it. And what I've done with this is I've modified, well, you'll see on the screen for the center I have ECM on the left, heat sinks on the left, and chaff and point defense on the right. The point defense is for missiles. Chaff is to get rid of a lock when someone knocks me out of space. ECM is to get rid of a lock when someone knocks me out of space and targeting me. The heat sink is in case I overheat something or I get near a star and overheat. It's usually good to have a heat sink on any ship that's going to travel long distance or that you're going to push, since I have no weapons on it whatsoever. And I don't have a fighter bayonet either right now, I don't think. We'll take a look in a second. Don't even have a fuel scoop. So you can see I'm not planning on doing much. So we're going to go into there and let's check, see what on this side you can tell the modules. You can see I'm more exploring and trade, very low in combat. Fire groups, okay, we're about to overrun it, I think. Oh, okay, so no fighter in here, but we can take out another ship with a fighter. And again, thanks to everyone who's showing up for the stream. I appreciate it very much. If you have any questions about this game, or if you played the game, feel free to chime in. Or you have the need to critique my horde flying. It has been months since I played. I've been playing No Man's Sky. As you can probably tell from my channel. Let's see if we can speed this up a little bit. And, well, flying the ships are two different things. It's a little bit harder on the Xbox to get pictures out to Twitter. I can still take them and send them out, which I will be doing, but it's not set up for in-game quite as much. I think I have Cortana on. Excuse me while I yell at my computer. Hey Cortana, take a screenshot. So I do have that on. I apologize for yelling because Cortana apparently does have some difficulty hearing. So we were not attacked by anything. I'm going to see if we can get attacked by something. My combat skills, since I actually don't even remember how to switch weapons right now, I should figure that out. It's simple. It's just holding down, I think, this button and switching between system panel, not that, fire group. Okay, up the top. So see, we learned how to do it. All 4 controller buttons have a tap feature and a hold down feature. So you can accommodate for both. We got to slow down a little bit there so we don't do the loop of shame. Not that there is shame, I guess only if people are watching you is there shame in it. So as I said, I have done it because I've had if you play, and this is solo mode, if you play with humans, sometimes they'll beat you to the destination just outside of the station, so the station won't fire at you. So a loop of shame can make them think you're going someplace else. And I should speed this up a little bit. We're at 7 seconds, so we'll try to leave it there. Steering the giant ship around. Each ship does have its own stats, and those stats can be modified additionally by you, the player. Let's see, my capacity is 192 in the Python. Very good weapons. Just getting used to landing. Red versus blue. What I do is I sort of stay in high orbit as long as possible, and then aim with an impact warning toward the planet, and then come on into it to reduce the amount of distance that I have before I get to the base. And if it looks like I won't even drop out of high orbit until I am near with 100 kilometers of it. Hello, Gaming Mike, and yes, this is Elite Dangerous. You'll probably notice a lot of similarities between it and No Man's Sky. So let's go ahead and request docking. I have the docking computer on. And hello, Lacrodal, welcome to the channel. That they've done a very good job with the graphics on this. So, and this is on the Xbox One. It is coming to the PS4 this June, and the VR probably after that. And the PS4 version will have all the updates. Obviously, the PC version looks the best, but if you look around, they've done a very good job with recreating a fairly realistic setting. I'm getting a little bit of a frame rate drop because I do have it on an external drive. And for those of you, I'm sure everyone knows because he's very popular, but in case you don't, Gaming Mike runs a channel himself. You should check it out. It's on my front page. You can get a link there.
Landing gear deployed.
And he does play quite a few games. Far more successfully than I have. I've actually limited the games I've been playing because of lack of interest. So we're going to go ahead and enter here, and we'll go into we'll drop off our passenger, and then we'll go into the view. You'll see each station does have a little bit of a different look. This, I believe, is a high-tech station, so a little bit more streamlined. And that jumping there, I'm pretty sure is because I'm on the external drive. I don't recall it being there before. And we'll drop off our passengers. No, Mock-Tone, this is the Xbox One. No, the PS3 and 360 definitely couldn't run this. And let's go ahead and drop our passenger off. No problem, Gimme Mike. I think everyone here probably is watching you already, but on the off chance that they're not. Corporate strike. No, we don't want to do that. I went to the wrong one. I'm looking at missions we want to deliver. I did it again. Deliver passengers. Do not do a corporate strike in a cruise liner. You will lose. Well, actually, a good pilot could probably win. I like to see that. So let's go to the passenger lounge. That's what I wanted to do. And we'll go back to the other station and pick up my hauler that has combat ships. Fighters, actually. The Colonel, I guess it is, that's one way of putting it, is like X Rebirth. There is some multiplayer in it. It's more session oriented, so it's not quite the same. We'll see if anyone's going back to the Ford station here. But the graphics are very strong. They've done a good job with that. And it's a living game. Like No Man's Sky, if you're familiar with that. They're continually adding to the game. And also the universe is living as well. So, like recently, aliens have been discovered. People have been finding artifacts. This one is close, but paying 14 million. No, there's got to be something wrong. 11 light years, which in this game is next door, literally next door. And the system, the Cup Nook, is next door to where we're going. This guy's paying 14 million. Was it 14,000? That's 14,000. That's not 14 million. So he's completely unfazed. Yeah. But danger, secretive. So he doesn't want to be scanned. He's a criminal for 14,000. 14 million. Yeah, 14,000. I added some numbers onto that. So he was close to where we were going. And red versus blue, regarding your question on landing on planets, I assume you're talking about at bases versus just out in the open field on a planet. Yeah, I think probably the best approach is just going ahead and getting within 100 clicks and then dropping out and gliding as long as you can without gliding over it. But once you're down to that level, you won't have as much problem. And I flew both the Type 7 and Type 9 transports for a long time. Like both of them. They don't turn well. So I will show you guys the galactic powers. This is a different aspect of the game. Oh, that's Nightbot. Skimming forward. This is if you want to get involved sort of in corporate intrigue. You can join a corporation. You will get benefits. And for instance... well, I think the first one here, I'm not going to go through every one of them for you. The first one, you'll get transport benefits. So if you're hauling stuff, you might want to join that and haul. But if you go in any of the other corporate areas, you could end up being attacked by their people. Lacronal, yes, it does have Newtonian physics. You can turn it off on your ship by allowing... This is a corporation I used to work for. I think they want me now. I'm not sure. To kill me. You can turn it off, and it'll be stabilized, and I have that off right now. But if you want to go into space and use full Newtonian physics in space and on the planet, you can. So you move in one direction. If you turn off stabilizers, you can flip the ship upside down, still moving in that same direction. And you can also spiral out of control the same way. All force has an equal but opposite reaction to it. On the planet, gravity does determine how fast you're going to hit the ground and be crushed. You have to... on those cases, you have to worry about your engines. I'm going to put my shields up because I know I'm going to crash this thing. Most people don't go to high-gravity planets, but if you're exploring, you want a good engine that will keep you afloat while you're on a high-gravity planet. And there's, I bumped the top of it. And also the distances are realistic distances versus compressed distances. which is good and bad. Put more power to my engines.
You are now clear of station restrictions. StarCon looks forward to receiving you again.
And I need to set a destination, so we'll go into the galactic map here. And it does take a couple seconds for the map to load. I played on the PC. Depending on the location, it can take a long way also. So again, we will zoom out from it, didn't get to see it. You can see the size of the universe. All those dots are stars. This is bright because the stars are closer toward the center of the universe. Earth is here. I believe Red versus Blue had mentioned that he's playing in Sol system. That would be our home, Earth. And most of these, I think the developers said less than 2% have been discovered. If you discover them, you can put your name on them and be marked. And I'm not wanting to go there, so I zoomed out so far. I'm going to have a hard time finding my location. I'll just go into it again. Make it a little bit easier. And all the dots you see in the sky are actually stars, most of them with planets, and they do move in accordance with actual orbital mechanics. None of which you need to worry about unless you're doing something snazzy or attempting to figure out a mystery on some planet that uses the stars as alignment. What we'll do is I think there might be a combat zone around there. We can try some of the combat. Or whatever ship I have there. I don't know what ship I have. So let's get all this. And for those who didn't get a peek, I will do an outside view of... this is the Orca. It's the mid-size cruise line ship. I think you always come out below the Orca. Oh, there we go. See if we can get a front view of it. Like I said before, the camera works very similar to the mechanics for moving. So you don't get free. You actually have to accelerate on the camera and then turn it around. I gotta make sure I'm going the right way here. Might have to do a 360 so I'm still in front of the ship. Let me go and look behind me. So they do need to work on that. I'll try and accelerate a little bit more. Or now I gotta decelerate. On the PC, it's a little bit easier to get a camera view. The Orca is pretty big. Looks like it's yellow. So that is a yellow submarine then, is what I was doing. We're looking at the bottom of the Orca. There's a fighter bay down there you can see. And if you're in combat, hitting doors and bays, you know, if you're trying, say you're a pirate and you want to get someone's cargo, you shoot at their launch bays and it'll drop their cargo. So independent components are affected. It's really difficult to see there. Red versus Blue, not very good. Over there you can see my ranks combat. I'm just competent. I've done more exploration and probably trade. I'm entrepreneur, and I guess I'm a trailblazer right now. And I've not bothered with CDC or CQC. They also did a reset when I first started playing. I wasn't much higher, so it makes no difference. Let's go ahead and jump into space on this.
Frameshift drive charging.
The limit you can move is the limit of your engine. This ship, I think, can do about 16 light years. The Explorer I have can do modified engine 36 or 38 light years. If you're going 400 light years, that makes quite a bit of difference. And then the amount of fuel. And so to go back to Lacroto's question about Newtonian physics, even the fuel in your ship, if you have a full tank, you can jump less than if you have a half tank. So a lot of people will have a half tank when they're traveling around just to get a longer jump. Or you can drop equipment in your ship to jump further. And this one does not have a scoop on it, so we won't be picking anything from the sun. We just want to avoid it. This is why I keep the heatsink. You see on that left-hand side? If you get too close to the sun, orbital mechanics will knock you out of hyperspace, and you will land next to the sun, which the technical term, I also have a bobblehead on the dash there, technical term for landing next to the sun is really hot, hence the heat sinks. And if you jump in on a red dwarf or a pulsar, you know, and say you're exploring, you know, a few thousand light years from any known space, you want to have a heat sink, and also automated repair systems so you can land on planets and collect resources to repair your ship. And we're coming back. Again, this has been the major complaint from players of this game is this. This station is only a couple hundred light seconds out. Some can be as much as 3,000-4,000 light, or even longer, I imagine. After 3,000, I stopped going to them because, you know, it's a 40-minute ride. Not really, but it can take a long time because they are keeping, you know, orbital mechanics functioning. So if you come into a binary star, you are most likely going to drop out of space right away, because that is just one warp in time-space that will cause you problems. Now, none of that's necessary to play the game. I've seen some really good combat pilots go into what you would call free flow mode or Newtonian mode and pull off some great stuff. The problem is, and I've done it a couple times, I will accelerate away from pirates and then turn off the stabilizers and flip the ship around and start shooting them while still going in the direction away from them, because they're shooting at me. So, and that also gives you a chance to you can rotate the ship anyway in, you know, space because of inertia, so you can give them a little bit of each side of shields as you go through. Protect any weak spots. The shields are 360, but you have important things on sides of the ship. Gaming mic, that's what most people complain about, but honestly, like in the first 2 minutes of the video, I covered most of what is to fly. There's a lot of, I want to say, a lot of depth to the game. When I first started playing, I didn't bother with any of that stuff. If you want to get, you know, to become a very good pilot, combat pilot, then you'll probably do that. But what I did was got in a ship, flew to a station, flew to, you know, planets, picked up stuff. I learned that you do have to request docking, unlike in No Man's Sky. I actually flew into a station without requesting it, and they shot me and destroyed me. So that can be a problem. But the game is, you know, on one level, trade, and this is solo mode, so I don't have to worry about anyone showing up, except for NPC pirates. Trade or exploration or, you know, working corporate contracts, and you'll find that the corporate contracts are the equivalent of trade. You know, you either pick up a contract on your own if you have a ship that you can haul cargo with, and you deliver it someplace, or the corporation has you deliver cargo someplace, or they will have you deliver data. You know, so everyone can deliver something. If you don't have a cargo ship, you can deliver data, which takes no cargo space. There we go. And again, I'm using autopilot because it's been so long since I've flown. Docking is not that complicated. I'm just not going to dock in this ship because it's expensive. And there seems to be, in my opinion, an incredibly stringent set of rules for every station. I think the rules are, any rule you break results in death. So it can get expensive. this seat over here, and the next update that's coming up will allow another player to control part of your ship. And the update after that will allow you to get up and walk around the ship. So this will take some of the complexity out, because this is a 2-person ship, and I have a 3-person ship also, and they have upper decks, lower decks. This one, multiple deck, because it is a cruise liner. Let's see what sort of mischief we can get into here. We'll refuel the Orca, and then we'll go into a view of it for those who didn't get to see it. You can't rotate in this view. You can on the PC, but not on the Xbox. Yeah, that's not it. It is outfitting. In outfitting, you have the choice to put whatever you want on the ship. So that's the ship from a view you can't change. This here, again, is Gaming Mike pointed out, and many people have pointed out, this has been the threshold barrier, is hard points, utility mounts, core internal, operational, what? So hard points are basically weapons or defense systems. So you see I have 2 weapons here of no use whatsoever. They're there for when I have the fighter on it. I can do a little bit of damage, but there's not really much. I would never actually try and fight. Utility mounts, mainly defense or something useful like scanning things. So the names seem a little bit more complex. Core, this is what comes with the ship. So you'll have reactors, power plants, life support. Let me see if I can read chat here. Red versus blue, I used to have a problem docking, especially with Type 7. Yeah, I could understand that one. I did too. Yes, red versus blue. Fighter pilots will make fun of you for doing, and so will the NPCs. I've done auto dock on stations, and the NPC says, Captain, we suggest you learn how to fly your ship. So here in core internals, these can all be changed. These have weight effect, but you do not need to know any of this stuff when you play, because the ship comes loaded with basic stuff, and, well, there's a pretty easy way to figure it out. The higher the number, the better. The higher the letter next to it, the better. So you see here I've got, this is a class 6, and I can put anything up to a 6 in it, and 6B. 6A is the best, 6B second best. So class 5 up to 5, and 5A is the best in this case. You'll notice there's a little marker at the end of frameshift drive. That means I've had it modified. There's another level of complexity, is that you can go to engineers and give them certain money or equipment, and they will modify it. So this engine has been modified. They have a little bit more jump, so the thrusters and the power plant. You'll notice the power plant is 4A instead of 5A. You would probably think, well, why not have a 5A? The reason why is a 5A is heavier, which keeps me from jumping as far. The 4A provides me all the power I need, and it's lighter. So unless I put something on that requires more power, the 4A is lighter, and it's in a 5A slot. 3A would not move me, so you don't want to do that. And that's the D down here, power coupler distributor, 5D. Ds are the lightest, so if you want to get the maximum range, put a lot of Ds in there. And I guess I forgot to turn off notification. Fuel tank, you can change your fuel tank. I wouldn't ever suggest that unless you're very talented at it. So basically what the ship comes with is enough to do whatever you need, and then you'll learn how to pick the extra stuff up. Optional internal, this ship is probably more complex than any, because it's got passenger stuff. So I have passenger, economy class, first class. I think anyone who's been on a plane or a cruise liner understands that. Or you don't even have to be. I think anyone who's watched Love Boat probably understands that. My guess is anyone has even heard of that show today. Cargo rack, because you do want to have some cargo, and always make room for your standard docking computer, as red versus blue was suggesting. And that's really about it. This is where you can put your paint jobs on and your decals, so you can go in and change. I'll see if I can browse. So it's customizable, but not as much as, say, on a PC. So we could turn it blue. I make it yellow because it's important for me to find in space, If you're doing, say, covert stuff, you want to hide from players, then that's a perfect color in space. I'll just leave it there right now. We'll hop in another ship. What do I happen to have here? So I have a Viper. Maybe we'll try the Viper and go on a combat mission with that. See what else I have. Killback. We've got the fighters in that. I'll be a debacle in it. I've got the Anaconda too. You definitely want to see that as well. So those are ships here, and you can have your ships move from station to station with the ship transfer option. You can actually have them hauled there, and it takes a few minutes. You have to pay money, but if you left the ship, 400 light years away, or a component, you can have that brought to the station that you're at. So if I were to go back up there, let me see. I've got Sidewinders everywhere because they're free, and I have a Viper all the way here. So it'd be 28 minutes and 56,000 credits to bring it to this location. I have no idea why. I probably do combat missions there. Let's take the Killback. This is not a ship to own yet. It is a transport ship that is heavily armored transport. The cargo bay is so small that you're not going to transport much. But I particularly bought it because you can use combat fighters in it. And you can't turn down combat fighters. Combat fighters, you can fly or you can have an NPC fly. NPCs are far better than I am. I'll try taking one out, but I don't know that I'll even be able to redock it. Fortunately, I think I can just jump back in the ship. So let's make sure we have everything there. Let's grab a mission on the mission board. We'll do hauling of some sort. Boom data to Wolf. That looks good enough. So we'll go ahead and grab that. That's a data mission, so it takes up no room whatsoever. And it's an outpost. So I can land on the outpost. So there we go. We grabbed that mission. Let's make sure I have fighter bays installed. I'm going to see it there, actually. There's a lot of stuff you don't have to worry about. Didn't even play with that until later in the game. So you can modify everything in the game. Let me go to the crew lounge and put someone in. Let's take Sebastian. He's expert. They get a share of whatever you do, and they gain experience as you play. So treated like real people. After the next update, which I said I think is coming sometime after April 10th because they're telling everyone to complete their missions by April 10th, humans will get a share of whatever mission you're on. But as far as I know, they cannot... someone who's joined your ship, if you're the captain, they cannot fly your combat fighter. Only you can or your NPC, I believe. So we'll go ahead and chart this. And we'll go over here. So we've got that. We'll stop someplace and we'll go to one of these ring planets. Probably enjoy that. And then maybe we'll grab the Anaconda and head for deep space. It has one of everything on it. It's great for hauling, but it's wonderful for exploring. And it can be good in combat. Something more maneuverable, as the mail slot is now sideways. Always more difficult when you haven't played in a long time. So let's go ahead and see if we can launch this thing. I'm going to put my shields to full power, so I'm going to hit the mail slot when I come out. Good pilot does this far faster, and right now my thrusters carry me upward because this ship does have a lot of inertia. Even with the stabilizers on, you can end up going in a direction you don't want to, so you do have to be careful with the heavy ships. Let me line that up. Trying to remember those. It's a fistful of buttons. If you haven't played with a controller, if you're a PC gamer, then you're going to get tangled up with the controller. As to move the ship, sometimes you can use 2 or 3 buttons at a time. I have no idea what the profile is on this thing, so we'll just go out the center of the chute and hope an orca doesn't come through. We got that frame rate drop again there, so. When I talk about the profile, your ship can be very tall from where you're sitting. There are some ships that have a very high top compared to where you're at. So you could bump it. So apparently I hit something at the station. Oh, I forgot to take my landing gear off. That's why I was going so slow. Yeah, well, see, I think it did mention something about Noob. Flew all that way with my landing gear. The reason why they're giving me the warning, if your landing gear's down, you're near the opening of the station, they assume you're coming back in without permission. So we'll go out here, and then we'll take a look down at the fighter bay. Gain a little bit of distance from the station because I do not want to cause any problems at the station. Sounds like my engine's falling apart here. Okay, we're probably going to be close enough, so let's go ahead and I'll try the fighter myself. We'll see how well that works. We'll leave the helm with the NPC. So we'll go to, there's no cutscene right now, but we'll go to the
Countdown initiated. I'll take care of the mothership, Commander.
the fighter bay, which looks a lot like the ship we're just flying. And of course they just launched us. It's very maneuverable. So you can see I can turn a lot faster. And we'll see if we can get an outside view of it. Yep. The mothership will follow behind you, so you don't have to worry about losing it. See if we can turn it a little bit here. And keep going forward. I'm bumping it actually, so I want to go under it. And then around it. Or maybe not. There we go. We'll spit it around and try and find it. I think you see the station back there. See the dust, the plume. Did I pass it up that much? Oh, there it is. The engine plume. So, and there are I think there's 3 different classes of fighters made by different Alliance, Empire, and Federation, and then within them there's different functions of fighters. So, and it always shows you where your ship is, so you can see it right there. If you get out of range of your ship, it will give you a warning, and this ship cannot keep up with me. So, I'm getting very close to it. I don't want to hit it. 700 meters is pretty close. So you could launch this if you're being attacked. Your NPC would fly your ship and talk to you. So we'll slow down and take a look at that and see if we can get docking back. I'll lock the camera for a second. There it goes. Our commander, who's apparently much better at flying than I am, so we can match speed with him. He's going to match our speed continuously, so. And we'll see if we can jump out again, so everyone can get a view of both of those. Or not. Because of the distance, this fighter looks much larger than the other ship, but the other ship is actually pretty darn big. And just getting the control moved in. And I think I have 2 fighters in that ship right now. It'll carry 2. So you could actually deploy 2 at once. I do also use them for searching planets. So let's see if we can dock. Details. I don't want details right now. I'll request the dock. I probably won't do it very well.
Initiating retrieval sequence.
In which case I'll just... You can, with a button, just swap places. It's been so long since I've flown that I have to make sure I don't hit it. I'm coming at a way wrong angle there. So the little... You can see the acceleration on this is just absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to pass it by a few times. We'll try boosting away from it. And come back one more time. Hopefully at a straight angle. If not, we'll just switch over, I guess. I have everything on my shields right now. I'm going to put it over to the engine so I can boost a little more on occasion. Slow down and see where the ship is. It's right there. The problem is it follows you. So when I fly away from it, it wants to fly toward me. And unless you're very good at docking, and I've only done it a few times because I actually haven't had to use them much. Okay, we're coming up on it there. And it does accelerate very, very fast. And we're also coming up upside down, so let me correct our angle of approach there. And we might be coming in, we'll see.
Fighter docking sequence initiated.
I actually managed to dock it. I'm surprised. Cutscene, and eventually you'll be able to move around in this ship as well. Go down
Retrieval complete. Ship
the
is
fighter
locked
bay.
down.
Okay, so let's find out where we're going. For those who don't know and wondering how the heck I can find my coordinates, there's a little circle in between the large circle in the center and the system. Looks like a sun with planets orbiting it. There's a white dot inside of a red or orange dot. See, that dot moves with the circle in front of me. So when I'm facing away from it, it will become hollow. So that way, I'm not going to go all the way around again, but when it's just an empty circle, you're pointing the opposite direction. So if you don't tell anyone, it looks like you're very situationally aware. Let's go ahead and make our jump.
Charging.
And I'm sort of getting a lot of this out of the way. I think this will pretty much be the end of tutorial mode. We'll take the Anaconda out and head out to some deeper space. You can spend all of your time playing within colonized space or exploring. It is up to you as a player, obviously. It is an open world. Don't want to say sandbox because we're in space. I'm just checking to see if it has a fuel scoop. I don't think it does. For those wondering, yes, you can fly into the sun. Even though it's large there, I'm still very far away from it. You'll melt, most likely, before you get there. Now we've got a contact up there on the upper right-hand side of the screen. Maybe someone wanting to engage us. This ship, I do have a small amount of power to the weapons. Because in the past, I have done some combat. I'll launch the fighter, and then I'll assist the fighter. We pretty much can fly circles around the larger combat ships. Smaller ones has a difficulty. And Zillig, I believe, is an industrial station. So the resources that you can get there, sell, buy, or trade are very different than what you'd find, say, at a high-tech one or obviously agricultural. And I think it's industrial because it reminds me of a place named Zug Island, which was an industrial island that was known for its grime, pollution, and dirt. And I know the two words aren't the same, but they seem to be. So I have that aspect of the island. The green is the station I'm going to, and the other square is a ship that's in front of me, I believe. Let's see if we can slow down so I don't do the loop of shame. Now speed up so we don't do the crawl to dock. Cruise on through here. And we're being interdicted, so what I'm going to do is shut off the engines and drop out. And then we'll go ahead and thrust. I have chaff right now in point defense. We could deploy the fighter, but what we're going to try to do is cool off and then jump back into space before the enemy ship can get to me. Now there's a couple ways you can avoid pirates, and that is you can follow the little circle that opens up when you're being interdicted and avoid the interdiction. That works out quite well. Sometimes just dropping out of space immediately, it takes them longer for you to for them to drop out. If you have the right type of ship, we're going to do the loop, I think. The right type of ship, you can actually fire up your engines again before they can actually get to you. Now I've slowed down so much it'll probably interdict me again. And if you're carrying the right cargo, you can endlessly be interdicted. Okay, we're being slowed down now by the gravity of the planet. As soon as we get out of that gravity well, I guess to what would be termed the Lagrange point, that you do not need to know about, you just know planets make you slow, we'll speed up again. You see how the timer is going up to 48, 50 seconds. If I were to accelerate beyond the little blue box that I'm in right now, when I came out of that gravity well, I would be going very fast. See on my icon down below, the radar down below, green ships are friendlies. They're probably attacking the pirate ship that attempted to attack me. They will come to your defense. It just takes them a while. Let's take a look at this giant over here. I wish there was a way that the holo displays didn't come up, hologram displays, when you were trying, or artificial reality displays, when you're trying to look out the windows, because it sort of defeats the purpose. Okay, we've managed to get through that gravity well. There's a plume from another ship's engine. So we should drop back to about 8 seconds is what we're at. Oh, we're at 6. Might have gained a little inertia from the planet. Since we weren't bouncing off the atmosphere. I'll try coming a little bit faster. And drop out. And I think I have a docking computer on that. If I don't, then this ship will be very entertained. Red versus blue. He's asking a question that is actually very common in the game. That is, you can play in solo mode, you can play in a private session, and you can play in a public session. And when you're looking for missions, you can often switch between those and get different missions. So to answer your question, red versus blue, no, I don't think it's cheating.
Docking request granted.
Given the fact, okay, I gotta dock this one, guys, so we'll see. I'm at docking bay 3. Given how difficult it is for you to get the missions, and because when you switch between them, it's about a 20-minute wait if you were to switch between them again. It used to be you could swap between sessions very quickly and continually get it. Now there is a longer wait. So if you don't mind spending 2 or 3 hours swapping between them, which is the penalty for doing it, I guess, so you don't have to do it, and that would be the cheating. Let me see if my docking computer is offline also. I don't even see one, so let me bring this around here. And we got a little bit of a frame rate drag there too. So there's a timer down there. I have 8 minutes and some seconds to find landing pad 3. The pad I'm looking at here, that's in red or orange, may or may not be 3. I see a number on it. It looks like it's 3. So what I'm going to do is start slowing down a little bit and then adjust myself over. Slow down some more so I don't hit it. And straighten out a little bit. Do a little bit of lateral movement. And keep coming down. Just very slowly. I'm going to put out my landing gear. So I'm going to need those. Those will slow you down also. And I could get a little bit more speed now with my landing gear out. It's going to be far more difficult. What I'm going to do is now is level it out so I actually don't run into the landing pad. And hopefully this is the landing pad. I'm going to slow it down and start lowering it. Go forward a little bit. And drop it down. After a while, the ground radar should come on with a marker showing me where I'm at as far as line up. I'll put everything to my shields in case I bump down. So you can see the little red dot there. I lifted up too high. So you want to line up that in the circle. You got the blue there. Then continue to drop down. Once you get low enough, you will lock, I guess, magnetically. Try and line that up a little bit better. And that's the inertia that's sort of pushing it a little bit over to the side there. I've gone too far forward. And really what you normally want to do is just plop it sort of right down. Particularly if you have your shields. I was trying to explain it while I was doing it, so... yeah, red versus blue. I think given the amount of time you have to spend traveling in space, and the difficulty of getting missions and how hard you have to work to get to the missions. When I say hard, you play the game like you would most games and earn your ranks. I don't think switching between the sessions is cheating. Before they made their changes, it probably bordered on taking advantage of a loophole. But after they made the patch, I think just about everyone does it. It's sort of like landing computers. No one admits to it, but everyone uses them. Okay, let's deliver that there. So I managed to turn a very short mission into a very long mission. So let's go back. And I don't see anything. There's a good mission. I'd lowered my standing with another station. But you can stack these skimmer missions. You can stack a bunch of them. And you can up to 20. And go to a planet and sort of clean up on business. See if they have anything else here. I don't have the cargo space for that one. So what we have here. More boom data. Really, boom time. So it's 18 units. I don't even have 18 units in my cargo. Do I even have cargo? Let's check the inventory here. Okay, so I have a very small, you can have 4 cargo hold of 4 units. So I've not been used as a transport ship. I've been used as a combat ship. It's sort of well disguised because it looks like a transport ship. skimmer clean out. That might be a good one there, but I don't think we're going to get any where we're going back to. There's a lot of places here, though. I'll go ahead and donate money to these because you never know if you're going to want to improve your standing. So I try to do it when I have the money.
Incoming message.
That message will be, hey, your standing's gone, improve to cordial. And there's one place we're going, 3 units of progenitor cells. I can actually do that one. It's where we're going. And it lands us on a planet at a space platform. Is there anything else down here? This place does have a lot of things. So let's go ahead and grab this because this is in the direction we're going. It will also improve my reputation. You see rep over there, and my standing with any alliances and stuff like that. I'll look up on the map where we're going to. It's hard to find a 4 cargo mission, 4 cargo hold mission, but apparently they had one here. That will allow us to take a peek at landing on a planet. Which can be good trade points if you find the rare thing they have and they have enough population. Okay, well, I thought it was a planet, but maybe it's not. It's marking this here. Okay, well, then... Well, I guess we'll go here since I already have the mission. And we'll drop at a planet on the way, or after we do the mission. Missions are timed. You have usually 24 hours, sometimes less. And we'll go ahead and return to the surface. I haven't even got into, you can scan planets, solar systems to earn money. You can sell those. The more detailed you scan, the more money you earn. So if you go to every planet, scan them, you can get more. You don't necessarily get more if you land on it.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
And depending on the planet, you can get more as well. Bring up that landing gear. Put more of the engines now. And on the Xbox, all I'm doing is hitting the up-down tab button. Okay, a planet is guarding our path right now. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put us into Super Cruise mode here. We're still too close to the space station. You see in the lower right-hand corner it says mass locked, which just means we're too close. Now we're not mass locked, so we can travel a little bit faster and then line up with our target.
Ready to engage.
And I can't help but think that is a direct reference to Star Trek: The Next Generation.
2, 1, engage.
If you set in space with your frame shift drive on too long, your engines will start overheating. So that could present a problem for you. This giant planet. This planet has an atmosphere. The game right now won't let you land on a planet with atmosphere. Mainly moons that you can land on. That's another update that's coming. Don't know when, but...
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, we'll jump into... This is Super Cruise, which basically is a faster way to travel around a solar system because it would take forever. And then this is a jump.
1, engage.
So it'll throw you between 2 points, the end point always being a large gravity well, a planet, or 2 planets, or pulsar. Pulsars, if I can find one, are really something to see. They look like pulsars, well, as close as they can, and still get it on the screen. Given the size of a pulsar, you probably couldn't get close enough in this game to get the whole thing in the screen. This gives me another opportunity to crash the ship. You can see me activating every flight control I have there. And again, you know, I'm just using the left and right stick and right and left bumpers to fly. On the PC, you use a joystick. Most people do. You can use just the keyboard. If you're a console gamer, I don't think you have any problem with, say, holding down the shift button and hitting the D-pad. Not shift button, holding down the B button or any button and hitting the D-pad. That would be the most complex command, is holding down a button and hitting a D-pad or a bumper. Well, it's basically to go through menus, because you can't scroll through menus on a console, because while they support a mouse, they don't support them in the games. Not sure why. It's not that hard to implement, and they could save everyone a lot of trouble by mapping both, since you can actually map a PC to use a controller. And for anyone playing Xbox One, wondering why I'm not using a joystick or flight stick, because I don't think there are any actually out for the Xbox One. You see over there an undetected, unidentified source, signal source. That would be something to explore. You can go there, and you might find cargo, loot, convoy of ships that you could attack if you want, or gather data from by scanning them. You never really know what you're going to find. There's a variety of things there. So we get a little bit closer and we'll request docking here. Okay, there we go. I'll slow it down for a little bit. Find out where our parking space is.
Docking request granted.
It looks like it's going to be on probably the far side over there. I'll put the rest of my energy to the shields for now. When I say the far side, oh no, there's one that just lit up here. It could be it. You can have landing pads on both sides of the station, or any side of the station actually. They're threatening me now. So I'm looking for 3 again, and hopefully this is 3. That would make life much easier. I'll line up as though it is 3. Start slowing down. That is 1. So it's not the one I want. So I'm guessing it's going to be on... Oh, there's 3. I see it now. We'll just pull ourselves up. See, we're about to be beaten to number 1 because someone else was going to it. You do not take someone else's landing pad. Penalty is death. Fortunately, that's not the case when people take parking spots in real life. I'm having a hard time lining this up this time. See if we can speed it up a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more. Adjust the angle. I don't want to put the landing gear out yet because it's going to slow me down considerably. Now I'll deploy it. And I have the attitude.
Landing gear deployed.
I think I might be coming in the wrong way here. We'll see, but they'll tell me. I have the attitude of the ship inclined right now. So you can see looking sort of down. It's one way to land. I've paused so I can show you guys what I'm doing there. You normally don't want to hang over landing pad too long. And we'll just lower down, see where I'm at. And if I'm facing the wrong way, it will let me know when I go to land. It won't give me the blue dot. Oh, moved out of the way of that. Let's go forward again. Try not to put too much speed on it. That's not going to be the blue dot because... oh, it is. So I was pointing the right way.
Engines disengaged.
These are external outposts, so docking is a little bit easier than internal station, which will be the next place that I attempt to get myself killed at. But an outpost won't dock a large ship, which is a problem for hauling large amounts of cargo, so you can only deal with large stations. Let's deliver this mission. And there we go.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Now they've given me a reward now that I will probably want to sell. So we got a telemetry suite. You can use the upgrade sometimes. I'm not going to pay any money here. I'm not going to look for another mission here. I'll just refuel. We'll go back to the surface. And while we're doing that, I'll look at the map. So we can get a deep ship space. Deep ship space. Deep space ship. Trying to read chat and be casual there. Alright. Lock in there. You can just go straight to the solar system and lock on the station you're going to. Being a person who hits the wrong buttons often, I tend to log on the way in and on the way out. So we're locked into our destination because I know where it is. Didn't have to look for it. Let's go ahead and launch.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
And when I'm actually doing things properly, the lights are my reminder for getting rid of my landing gear, for putting those away as soon as I pass them. Yeah, we'll pull around here. This system is right next door. You see it's only 7 light years. Not very far. Let's go ahead. We're still mass locked. I could check that before I do it. Again, meaning we're just close to a large object. That would be our station. I'm going to get a speeding ticket there. There are no such things. You can get fines for doing things in the game. Fines from the station for credits, not from the publisher. Not completing missions, shooting the wrong people, not delivering cargo. My co-host Thackeray the Cat is trying to grab the mic and get into this stream. So if you hear a lot of bumping and purring, you'll know why. So we're going back to Ford Station, which could be named after a multitude of people. Yeah, red versus blue. I don't recall the slots on the Anaconda. I'll take a look. It has. I thought maybe it only goes to 2, but I'm not sure. It does have a lot of slots. As I said, I wouldn't recommend it for a standard combat ship, but it can defend itself fairly well, on the run at least. I really view it more as a hauler and a very heavy explorer. The Asp Explorer is better at exploring. It's lighter, it's faster, it's more maneuverable. You can land on a planet quicker, but with an Anaconda being a 3-floored giant ship, you're pretty much flying the USS Enterprise, smaller version of it, so you can bring everything with you. That includes mining, equipment if you want it, repair, self-repairing equipment, fighters. If you're doing very deep space, sometimes having 2 land vehicles is not bad. That might be the case, red versus blue, if they're all showing up with the same hard points, because yeah, there are definitely different hard points. We'll see, because I'm switching the Anaconda and we're going to go out away from the stations. We'll go out to the close frontier and then prep for going maybe to one of the locations where aliens have been sighted and see what we can find. Let's speed this one up a little bit more. This being a D20, if you're not familiar with that, polyhedron shape station, and with a mail slot as an entrance. Can be a little bit more of a challenge for somebody who's not been flying in a while and docking for a while, so I may get the pleasure of seeing my ship shot down as I go into dock it if I can get in or hit something, bump the wrong person, not follow proper protocols. You don't get shot down that easily. You do have to screw up, which I have. I've hit the wrong button, done a burst to my maneuvering jets, and ran into the walls. Okay, I think I see the mail slot over there. Let me make sure. So before I actually... I'll let her stop talking. Before I actually ask for permission to land, I want to find out where the front is. I think it's right over here, but I have so much in my shields right now that I'm having difficulty boosting. Yeah, you can see just over there to the right, there's the mail slot. And if you've seen 2001, you'll know, oops, I want to adjust that better. You'll know that you have to align with the rotation of the station. Not trying to make any cute rhymes there. Let's slow down and request some docking. Alright, so I'm going to drop it down so we're sort of lined up. It's going to rotate a few more times. If I had cargo that I did not want to be found, it would have just been found. So what a lot of smugglers will do is stay out of range of scan and then just aim straight for the mail slot and go flying in and attempt to brake, halt the speed of their ship. I completely misjudged that angle there, looking at it the wrong way. Apologize for that. And they will fly in and sometimes bounce off the back wall, but more often than not use a landing computer to then attempt to land them properly after they get in there, because the docking computer will automatically realign you. A smuggler's trick. Okay. We're just going to have to start driving toward it, because I can play this alignment game all day. Let's request permission to dock as we're moving forward. I think we're moving forward there. Request docking. Okay.
Access granted.
So
landing pad 30.
pad 30. I actually can't tell from this angle what's straight and what's not. I'm going to try to keep rotating it with the station as we come in. I'm going slow because I think I'm over it. Straighten out my alignment, go over. Yep, now I can see a little bit better. And once you've done this a few times, you actually can do it fairly quickly. Sort of coming in skewed there. Try to keep my rotation with it, or as close as possible without hitting all. Why they put all the metal rods on the outside, I don't know. I guess to make landing more fun. You should come in a little bit faster when you're landing so the rotation won't affect you as much. I'm way out of control here. So now I have to find landing pad 30 without hovering over anyone else's landing pad. 30, 30, 30. Where it looks like it's over there. There it is. And I used the wrong maneuvering just there. As you saw, I was going laterally, which is not a good idea if you don't want to hit the inside of a station. We can speed that up a little bit.
1,000 meters from touchdown.
And they're not even playing the music. I guess they are now. I'll put my landing gear down as soon as I'm over the tower, just to slow down a little bit. And I'm going to adjust my incline, or attitude
Landing gear deployed.
would be the proper term, so I can see where that landing pad is. And once I think I'm over it, just stop thrust and start to lower down, adjusting the attitude while arguing with my co-host, who's desperately trying to get up here right now. Slow down, we don't want to get over that. There we go. We actually landed without being shot.
Landing successful. Dispatching ground crew. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
And, well, I'm pretty sure the Anaconda was here. We'll take a look at the Anaconda. And I'm not going to take any long-range missions because they're telling everyone to finish your missions before April 10th. So we'll just do some free roaming to some different stations. Sort of what I'm doing in No Man's Sky, like going to the center of the universe. That'll actually be something good. As soon as I do the update, we'll try going to the Galactic Center, or at least the Colonial Base first. Okay, let's see if we can swap over to the Anaconda. So I have some Class 3 hard points in there, red versus blue. So I remember putting a Gatling cannon on the center. If you put one on the bottom of the ship in the center, it can fire in a gimbaled. It can fire 360 degrees around you. If you put them on the front, because of the shape of the ship, you can't actually shoot behind you. So location of the weapons is important, and you want to put any chaff at the rear of the ship to throw it out when you're being pursued. I'm in fact going to do that. Red versus blue, it's a good idea. Check the shipyard and see what we have on the ship. Which is always a good idea in general before you go sprinting out into the middle of space. Actually not the shipyard, I want to check the outfitting. Okay, so let's see what we have for utility mounts. All ones, that is pretty much standard. A lot of them though, as you can see. And core internals, Weapons will be in there. Believe. No, I guess they're in the optionals, so. No hard points, sorry. So yeah, 1-4, that's my multi-cannon. And then 3 3s, at least 2 2s, and then 2 1s. So my 1s are empty. 2 of my 3s are empty right now because I'm using it as an explorer, so I'm not really engaging in combat that much. So it can put out a lot of firepower. Still, it doesn't have the maneuverability that you'd want in a combat ship. And once you're in deep space, you don't really have to worry about it too much. So its fuel is loaded. We'll pick a outpost or station on the border of habitable space. Wait for that to come up. There we go. And I have bookmarks everywhere, so we'll just go to the bookmark. And when docking. So this is actually a bookmark directly to the station. And so this one's a little bit further out. In fact, we're going to need fuel along the way. So that's the edge of sort of known space, and then you start moving out. This is a very popular place. That's where we'll be heading. And then from there, well, here's apparently someplace else I've been. On the way out to Barnard's Loop, and, well, who knows where we'll go. We'll start there, at least get out into space. Now, I have a fuel scoop on the ship, and you can always stop on the way and get fuel. If you run out of fuel, I believe your options now are to die. It's pretty simple to do, actually. I don't think there's any way to get your ship picked up. Early in the game, they had something that would allow your ship to be reset. But now, basically, you suicide yourself. I put more in my shields here, because this one is a big, big tugboat. You can see I've actually have a runway on the front of it, looks like. In case I need to do any shows for designer clothes, wrong control there. So we can thrust that over there. And I thought, yeah, the landing gear's up. That's good. Pull over a little bit more. Adjust that nose. And again, I do not remember. At that point, we always seem to get a little bit of frame rate drop. Realign. And we should be pretty good to get out of there. Don't know how tall it is. We'll find out if I scratch the top. Pretty close to scratching the top either way. And we'll boost a little bit. And put more to our engines now. As you see right now, I have nothing in weapons, because unless I'm interdicted, I'm not planning on using the weapons. Hello, Miniman. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for chatting in chat. And for everyone who's viewing, who has not chatted, thanks for showing up. If you're a return viewer, that's great. If you like, subscribe. On the top of my page and in the description of this broadcast are links to my broadcast schedule. So feel free to take a look at that. And of course, if you liked it, please do give it a like. We'll go ahead and hit hyperspace here. And the next system, I guess I'll take a look. Well, let me see if I can stop it here. We'll look outside the ship for those who are not familiar with the Anaconda. See if I can turn the camera a little bit. This one, I think I have 2 fighter bays in and 2 Scarab landing vehicle bays. Thank you for subscribing, Miniman. Appreciate it very much. That does much to help the channel and get more people here. If anyone wants to see a particular game, There we go. You see, this is a big ship, tall-wise. I mean, so you have to be careful where you put your weapons. But there's a lot of space in it. I was saying, anyone wants to see something in particular, feel free to post it anywhere. There is also a link on the header page to the Facebook page for the channel. If you prefer to go there and post, that's fine. I haven't been updating it. I just reactivated it after a few years being gone, so I have to catch up with that.
Frameshift drive charging.
But communication is the key. Thank you, Miniman. It's an Anaconda. Do you play Elite Dangerous? And I'm neither elite nor dangerous. So I'm going to scoop some fuel here because the ship can only go so far before it actually runs out of fuel. Don't want to get too close to the planet. And I'm going to scan.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
This ship has scanners, long-range scanners, so I can pick up any planets that are in the system that I've not already detected. We'll go ahead and jump to this one. If you don't have all the extra stuff loaded, let's see if I can get this before we warp. I was looking at the cargo bay. This cargo bay is only 128, but you can push that up to 200 or more, I believe. Just a little bit over 200,
Engaged.
which makes it a good long-range hauler also. And the fact that I have 2 combat fighters and 2 land vehicles, and I think 2 automated repair systems is nothing worse than being 3,000 light years from home and your automated repair system fails. And the only way to repair it is with another automated repair system. This may be a pulsar. Yep, it is. So I'll slow down for anyone who wants that, and I will actually I'll go outside the ship before I get into it. You do not want to get into it. And since it's on the Xbox, I will have our friendly AI aide take a snapshot of this, and this will be on, I can't send it from here, but it will be on my Twitter feed. That's Quinn Eisen. You can get it without even following me. Just get the picture if you want. Let's see if we can get down here and get that whole thing in. This will also accelerate you if you drive through it. Also melt you. There's a ship flying by there. Hey, Cortana, take a screenshot. Sorry about yelling there. Okay. That's done. And let's see if we can align with this without getting into that. This will accelerate your warp speed, though. So you can actually jump a little bit further. I already got too close. So, well, this is a good lesson in what not to do. You see how I'm heating up? And you might notice I have a lot of heat sinks on the far side over there. That is for when I do something stupid like this. When it starts getting too hot, I'm going to launch a heat sink, which will cool it down a little bit. And if you encounter one of these in deep space, that's why you want to have some heat sinks. And some of this equipment you can manufacture, synthesize with your onboard synthesizer in ship and space if you have the correct elements. I'm still pretty close to that, so we're going to see if we can drives cool down. Let's see if I can find the
Frameshift drive charging.
vector exit point. There we go. Yeah, it's still going to get very warm before we get out of here. You see the smoke pouring off the top. I'm not launching the heat sink because I'm well, being silly. Let's go ahead and well, it's cooling down a little bit. Did it melt my bobblehead? Miniman, I would say that well, the game as is right now is, I think, and I'll have to give reasons for it, is between a 7 and an 8, and within the next few weeks, there's going to be a patch that I think would put it at a very strong 8. And probably by the end of this year, I think a 9. Now, that is based on the fact if you like exploration, space combat, space trading games. If you don't,
Frameshift drive
then
charging.
you'd probably rate it less. As you see, there's a lot of travel in the game. So if you don't like going to strange new worlds and meeting new civilizations, then it might be a lower rating. But I do enjoy the ship's exploration, the combat, the trade, the economics. There's a lot to do in it, even at this point. The next patch is going to allow multiple people to be on your ship. So if you look around my ship, I've got room for 2 more people at the helm. So other players can sit at my helm and control aspects of the ship as well. I think that will add a lot to it. And eventually we'll be able to walk around the ships and through the stations. It's still sort of in process, so to speak. And right now it is available on the Xbox One, the PC. Originally the PC. I want to scoop some fuel here. And in June it should be available on the PS4. I don't think you'll see it on the Nintendo Switch. I don't think it has a processing power. So those will probably be the limit of the platforms.
Disengaged.
Let's do a scan of the system here. And I'm going to take a look at our chart and see what we have. We have a couple planets around here. Let's look at the system map. And see if there's any moons. There's a couple moons here and a ring system. So what I'm going to do is chart a path to this moon. Let's look at it, see if there's anybody on it. There is a relay point on it. So we'll pick that for now. On this ship I have, because it's a deep space exploration loadout, I do turn off some modules as needed. So sometimes some of the weapons will be turned off, or the cargo bay might be turned off. It all depends on what I'm using. So we'll take a look and see what I do have turned off. And these aspects can be controlled by the other players after the next patch. So the planetary vehicle hangar I have turned off. My second cell shield bank, which gives you a temporary shield boost, reloads your shields in case you're in combat. I have 2 auto maintenance devices that are turned off. And it looks like everything else is on. Normally once I get far enough in space, I will turn off the shields and the docking computer, so that way I can run with a low heat signature to keep anyone from hunting me down. Yes, Mini Man, I am streaming every day this week of different games. Tomorrow won't be this game, but it'll be another space game. And like I said, you can always, at the header of my YouTube page or description of this, just hit the little triangle shape and it'll give you a list for the next 3 weeks, the times that I'm broadcasting and what I'm broadcasting. But I will be here, I think, all day tomorrow. I'll be about 6 hours worth of streaming, with a break in between, obviously. But thanks for showing up. And we're going to have to go to the ring planet, guys, because you have to. You can actually fly into the rings. You don't want to until you slow down. So we'll try and do a flyby of it. And you can mine in there. You see where it says resource extraction point. You don't have to go to that. That's more or less a suggestion. And if you were mining, I don't have mining equipment on the ship right now. It's another thing you can do. Ooh, we better slow down there. See if we can fly a little bit parallel to it. That wasn't a very good look at it. Maybe we'll have to stop in it. This thing is very, very slow to turn, as you probably have noticed. Okay, we'll probably get dropped out of space here at the distance I'm coming in at this. But I'm tending to try and get in here anyhow. Not at the resource extraction points, just out here on the outer edge. Each belt will contain something a little bit different. Each ringed planet will contain something different. And then these belts can actually contain something different. Let's slow down. Okay, so I'm going to level out here. So, well, I apparently accelerated too fast, so we're going to do an emergency stop, spin out of control madly. But we wanted to enter the ring anyhow. So you can see this is actually what the ring is comprised of, rocks and ice. Fortunately, I do have 2 automated repair units, so I didn't need to worry, and there's a station nearby. And these all look pretty much the same, so we'll go ahead and plan on pulling out of here. I'll maybe drive a little bit further in so you can see the rocks are very, very large. A little bit too large for a ship like this. And you can occasionally be hit by pirates out here. There are places that they'll designate as a combat zone where you can go bounty hunting, so to speak. Great place to earn money and hone your practice and hone your combat skills.
Scan detected.
Well, see, I'm being scanned by someone right now. Which could be a pirate, or might not be. It's a federal security. Usually pirates are kind enough, the NPC pirates are kind enough to warn you that they're going to attack you, or say, you don't have anything I want, which is also very nice of them. We're getting a lot of sort of lag here. I'll have to move this to the primary drive because the frame lag I don't recall in the past. So, and we'll go ahead and pull out of this. So this is the ring. Well, we can take a look. You can almost see the... It's actually a star there. Well, it's not a planet. So this is an asteroid belt that's destroyed around it. Let's boost up. And then you, because of the gravity well, you have an escape vector. So we'll go ahead and... We're too close to mass right now, so we'll keep heading up. And as soon as the mass lock goes off, we can... It's a little gray, blue, white light in the lower left-hand corner. I'm usually pretty good with these colors, but that one I'm not so good with. Okay, it's gone.
Frameshift drive charging.
To me, it always sounds like friendship drive.
4, 3.
So we're already hitting the escape vector, so we don't need to worry. So you can't warp directly out of a belt, or if you're too close to a planet or a sun. You do want to get some distance from it. Let's see if we can see it back there. No, I don't think so. But we will try and realign with our destination without running into that again. That's the thing, is that there's radar in the center. You can sort of tell where you're at, but if you're looking at too many places at one time, and this does turn slowly. You compare the other ships I've been in today, we would have been around in no time. Almost to the point to where it feels like we're not turning. Finally, we've almost done a 360. So I want to make sure I don't hit that star and or the asteroid belt. And this is why it's not a good combat ship, because... Oh, I'm already near something else, so I want to get away from that. Have to keep going out a little bit. But we are at 2 minutes 12 seconds for the video. So I probably will halt it here and pick it up. So you can actually park in space and leave the game and come back. You don't have to land. That's one nice feature. If you're on a long cruise someplace, I prefer to land on a planet, but you can just pick up where you left off. It's not much of a problem, but I'll get ready to wrap it up here. See how close we are to this relay, which will be on a planet. Maybe we can hit this before I end the stream. At the speed, we're literally going to hit it. So we're going to do the loop of shame there, which is actually just as good because we get away from those rings. Let's pull around. Gravity well is accelerating us, that's why we're going faster. And there's the ring planets, or the ringed sun again. Again, the nebula you see in the game, you can actually travel to those. Those are all the stars in the sky are places you can go to. They're far off, but you can go to them. It's not just background picture. And if you were to sit in one place long enough, you would notice them moving. Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit more speed than that. I think not particularly fast to accelerate either. Pulling there. The dots there mean that the station that I was originally going to land at is on the far side of the planet, but I don't actually need to land at a station. We can land on a planet too. So what we're going to do is try and come and pass a planet. You notice the detail starts to improve as you get closer. You get a little bit of pop-ins. And that's not a standard skin. The giant crater there you can actually fly to. It's so large that I can tell you you would have a hard time driving your vehicle out of it. So we'll go around the side here. Try and stay in orbit as long as I can before I actually hit. Well, now I've gone to hit it. So now what I want to do is keep my orbit high enough. See if I can see where that planet is. I'm jumping through a lot of camera frames there. We can pull it around here.
Orbital flight engaged.
Okay, we're still on the far side of the planet, so I'm going to try and keep it above the planet. And you see we're on the screen, on the heads up, we've got orbital cruise and orbital flight. We're trying to keep it in below orbital cruise until I get near the station. I'm very near the station, so now I'm just going to try and maintain enough till we're within about 100 clicks of it. Keep from dropping out of orbital cruise. So I'm close enough to drop out of orbital cruise, so I don't have to travel as far on the surface of the planet, which you travel far slower. If you played any space games, you know the closer you get to the surface, the slower you travel. All right. Could have passed over it by now. Yep, I did. So now you'll notice I'm on impact. And my distance is increasing because I passed over it, but I'm in the general vicinity. And I have everything stabilized, so we shouldn't drop to the planet surface once we hit glide. That's the next. We're in glide mode, which is actually just a transition screen, as they load graphics and the rest of the data for the planet. Takes a little bit longer on the Xbox One than it does on the PC. In fact, some PC players think it's locked up at this point. There we go. And the controller really buzzed there quite a bit. Now, I'm 94 clicks out. I'm not going to be able to maintain orbital cruise that long. I don't... Or the glide, I mean, for that long. I'm not sure. I'm going to try. I'd like to get within about 20 of it before I drop out of orbital glide. And this is literally you gliding. If you keep the right altitude, the right angle of approach, you will glide until your speed drops to a point. And we're about 20 kilometers above the ground, which is not a problem for running into things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start slowing us down and dropping us because I don't want to shoot right past it, which we're probably going to do anyhow. Yep, we did. Spin it around. Now, if all the stabilization wasn't on, we could be dropping like a rock. The inertia of the ship will affect it. But we did come within 4 clicks of it, which is pretty good. Maybe too close, actually, for requesting landing. We'll see. So we'll go over there. No contacts. We might not have permission to land there. Oh, we're 30 clicks out. I thought we were 4. Okay. We better speed up. I'm 4 kilometers above the surface. You do have to be careful. Some mountains are about 2 kilometers high. So I'm going to put more to the shields, just in case I do hit something. And over there, you can see there's a large crater. Get more detail as you land. I have so much in shields that I'm taking away from my engine, so I'm going to swap that back for now. Again, it's just up and down on the D-pad. Up for the center and left and right for the other two. Drop a little bit lower, see if we can pick up some more detail. This is sun side, but the sun isn't a yellow sun. You see the blue area coming in, that's marking off an area of interest. So there's something here that is of interest. Could be that relay. So you could just land on the planet's surface and figure out what's of interest. As we're getting 7 clicks, I will request. There we go. We'll slow down now. And hopefully the gravity's not so strong that it will. Okay, they're not going to let us have any contact here. So we're going to move out of the area and just land on the planet surface. About a mile above. We'll see if we can find that blue area. That way the next episode we can travel the surface of the planet. See what it is. You see a little line up there that's in an angle. That is the ring of the ringed star that we saw before. Get out here. If we don't find, we'll just go ahead and land. I'll put more to the shields. And we'll slow it down. Oh, not reverse it though. Come to a halt. So we're slow enough, I will put the landing gear out and we'll attempt to land. Slowing down nicely. I usually put the landing gear out once I drop below 1 kilometer, on the off chance that there is a mountain or something. And I'm not thrusting downward. You notice it continues to thrust downward
Landing gear
a
deployed.
little bit after I stop, so you have to be careful. If it drops about 200 meters a second after you hit thrust, you don't want to hit the surface without finding a good landing place. That would be a level one that you won't cause damage to your ship. And about 200 meters is when the surface scan down there in the center of the screen, lower center of screen, you'll start getting blue marks where it's safe to land. And I'm sort of going into a rocky area, so I know that's not going to be particularly safe. And usually, you don't have to go very far before you can find a place, as you see. Even when it stays red a long time, if you get low enough, you'll usually come over a place, as long as you're not traveling very fast. This is a heavy ship, so I'm going to try and not bounce it 200 meters down straight. Have full shields up, 71 meters. I won't do a countdown, 10, 9, 8. We're down to about 40. It's still moving on its own there. Trying to just give it a little thrust so I don't drop down another 50, but our shields should take up any damage that we would get if I went too fast. And yes, I do have two vehicles for driving on the planet's surface, so we have landed. And that's about a little bit, hour and a half, actually 2.5 hours for the broadcast, so I will end the stream here. I want to thank everyone again for watching. I appreciate it very much. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe if you like it. On the header of this stream, or inside the context of the stream, on the header of the YouTube page is my schedule, the little triangle. You click on it, you'll see I'm actually broadcasting every day this week. And as the games they'll be broadcasting. If you liked it, please do give a like, and hopefully I'll see you in the next stream. And as always, remember to have a good day.